Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So you see with Instagram, yeah, why is it, because I'm going to ask you because you're a man.
Go on.
Why is it a lot of men just have like 2 pictures? No, what is that about? And their pictures are just archived. So they've got pictures,
yeah,
but they've only got like 2 up. So what am I supposed to pre?
Those 2 pictures.
No, but I actually feel like the
They're
way
great
men,
pictures.
well, obviously not all men, but the way some men use Instagram, let's just say, as opposed to how women use it. Because surely there must be things that you think, why do women do this? But answer my question first. Why do you have 2 pictures?
Because that's all you need to see at that moment in time. Honestly, that's actually...
Right, cool, yeah. Sweet. Enjoy that. Bon appetit. I realised you pressed record, you JK. Right, here we are. Boom! This is in
Facts.
Chats
You
Unpacked.
know. Ooh, yes,
It's unpacked version, isn't it? We're unpacking our previous episode where we had the wonderful Paris the Love.
I loved it.
Therapist and life coach, and yeah,
she spun it.
Do you know what? Hold tight, Paris.
Should we have a little Paris appreciation moment?
Yeah,
right now?
let's hold tight, Paris.
Hold tight, Paris, because I was blown away. Like, we know Paris. Paris is our friend and everything. I work with Paris. But everything that she was saying, how eloquently she put it across, the fact that I was learning while I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, wait, I'm actually taking this in. This is actually really important information for me. I just thought, thank you, Paris, for coming through and just giving us the gems.
Absolutely.
Didn't hold back.
Literally, I had to message her the next day because I woke up the next day in a very good mood because I felt like we created something that was meaningful, and we had a brilliant balance between entertainment and being informative. But I said to her, she's got a gift, man. She knows, like, for her to consume all that information, that's a lot of information that she's consumed over obviously her years of studying. But the way she articulates herself and can share that information in a way that's not condescending, in a way that doesn't seem quite almost overwhelming. It's just really like she just does it so well.
So well. That's what I mean. Like, it felt like I was learning, but I didn't realize it's not like a teacher who's kind of talking down to you. It was just someone really easily explaining everything they know. And I think that's like the tip of the iceberg. That was the thing that was amazing about it. So a huge shout out to Paris.
Shout out to Paris. Make sure you go and follow her.
Please do.
If you need a life coach, she's your girl. If you need a therapist, she's your girl. And I'm looking forward to what 2022 has in store for her.
Yeah, man. We'll be right there, innit?
You will be right there. We'll refer back to that episode.
December 2020.
But obviously in that episode we discussed being millennials and I guess the things we mentally battle with as millennials as opposed to Gen Zs, but also this podcast is all about also being creatives as well and all of that. What would you say, Lems, was the main thing you took away from that discussion that we had?
Do you know what? The main thing for me was the distinction between therapy. Actually, yeah, there's 2 things. So therapy and stuff being therapeutic, i.e. the fact that doing therapy is something that's going to hold you to account. That was one big thing, because I know we already kind of touched on that in our last Unpacked as well, but it was good to have Paris really like verify that. That was sick. And the other thing was the distinction between therapy and life coach, and how approaching those things is basically you're going to be in 2 different positions when you probably need to go for one or the other or both. And because as I said before, I think the day before Paris came in, I had a session, a one-to-one therapy, or with a therapist. And I remember feeling like, this just isn't it. Like, I'm not getting what I need from this conversation. And I also could feel that the other person probably didn't feel like they were giving or displaying all of their gifts and talents as well. So I thought, this isn't the dynamic. And as soon as she said that thing about, life coach, it felt like she was talking to me in that moment. I was like, this is an avenue that I need to explore more. So that was definitely my 2 main takeaways, like the definitions and then something practical. I need to go and find a life coach. Man.
She sold me the life coach, man. She sold me that, because I even thought, I mean, I'm in therapy now and I feel like it's definitely what I need right now. But then I'm also like, because she even touched on the fact that sometimes you're so hyper conscious of yourself that you're almost very aware of how things have affected you, and it's more about, so maybe therapy isn't the best. And there's a lot of, in my therapy sessions, that I've clocked that therapy has affirmed for me how self-aware I am, because
would you say you're very self-aware?
I'm more self-aware than I thought I was, and I kind of think certain situations made me doubt how much I know myself, and therapy has actually helped me go, no, actually, yeah, I was bang on with that. And I've been told in different environments, whether it's a career coach or a therapist, that like, you're very self-aware. But I'm still like, I need that little just hand, and I need that accountability, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm like, after this, I need a life coach, man.
That's the next stage, isn't it?
I need a life coach. That's what I need. But
what would you want a life coach for you?
I feel like, to step into the person I really want to be. So I feel like there's certain things I know I still entertain that don't serve me so much anymore. And also, I feel like I sometimes can get almost distracted quite easily with like my goals, and everyone's doing this, or Amelia, it's the Amelia, you should be doing this kind of things. I'm like, maybe I should be. And sometimes it's like, it's actually nice. It would be nice to have someone like, no, remember, we're sticking to the plan. And also just those weekly chats or whatever it is, where someone's gonna hold me accountable to be like, have you done the things that you said you're gonna do? Do you know how many things I said I wanted to do already and I ain't done? Even though also sometimes also actually just also making sure your goals are actually achievable, because
that's a big one. That's a big one. Because
actually recently on my latest, I say latest, it depends when this one comes out, but I interviewed a life coach on my radio show, and again, it was, his mantra was becoming who you already are. So it was also just like almost just like unpacking certain things and unlearning certain things, and just stepping into your calling and all that. And all of this sounds a little very fruity and wishy-washy to some people, but I think you need that. It's like having a mentor. You know what I mean? You need that.
And that is a huge word. And do you know what's so mad? I've always thought that about myself. I'm like, I would love to have a mentor, or just someone who I know is like, all right, cool. In the chosen field that I want to run into, I can rely on you because you just know more than me, 100%. And it's like, cool, I've got my dad, I've got my uncles, I should say. So I've got older male figures in my life and older female figures in my life. But specifically for me trying to achieve or attain some of the things that I'm looking for, that feels like, mentor would be sick. And I see it because when I've done mentoring and I'm sitting with young people, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the little things that they're like, oh yeah, this really helps me or whatever. So I'm like, if I just had that. That's why I really want to get a life coach. She really made me think about it, man. Because, the stepping into your potential thing. Do you remember I said as well, the encounter that I had earlier in that day with the guy who Paris actually earlier described him as an angel. So I was like, that's a good word for him. No, for real, those angels. And
actually, I want to touch upon that as well, because when I was listening back to it, I was thinking to myself that, when you ask the universe for signs and then you get a very fucking obvious sign. Do you know
That's
what I
the
mean?
thing. It wasn't held back. It wasn't like
was a sign. That was, if you had any doubt that what you're doing was purposeful and meaningful and serving, that is your fucking sign.
For real.
So you take that sign, Lems. And then the conversation with Paris and her highlighting the difference between therapy and life coach, I think that's your sign as well. You're on the right path. Maybe now just get someone to help you get to where you're going to, maybe quicker, or not even quicker, but in a way,
just so it's a bit more disciplined. Literally, that thing that you had before about because I'm very easy to distract. It's a terrible habit, man. Just like a rabbit, just like start poking around, and I'll go over here, burrow here, and just see what I can do. Put my hands in too many pies until I get burnt or whatever it is, isn't it? But that attitude, I guess, and that discipline and that figure that can hold me accountable is definitely something where I know that I could benefit from that. And touching on the guy, the angel who came and spoke to me, I remember one thing that he said to me that from then, this has been the main thing that stood out to me as well. And it was actually a more like universal thing. So it wasn't specifically about me, but it was just like every single person has gifts. Obviously, we're all given gifts when we come into this world, whether it's your ability to speak very well, you can hold people's hands, you're very, very strong, whatever it is in your life, you've got a gift of some kind. The problem is a lot of people, when they get the gift, it's like they hide it under the bed, either because they're too scared to show their gifts or because they act selfishly and don't want to share their gifts. One of the two. Your only purpose in this life is to share your gift. Bring a gift
100.
from out under the bed and just let people see it. Whether they like it or not, or whether it helps that particular person or not, that is your gift to share with the world. That's your service for the world, and that's it. So that was the thing that I remember him saying to me. I was like, let me hold on to that, because whatever the gift is, which for me, I feel it's just like safe spaces, making safe spaces and keeping safe spaces. I've got to do it. Got to do it. That's my stamp on the world.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, I think sometimes we might get so caught up in what we gain from the world as opposed to what we can give to the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all here. Like, I'm a massive believer in everything happens for a reason, and everyone is here for a reason. Like, the chances of us sharing this time on earth together were very, very slim. I'm also a believer in meeting people like in past lives or whatever, when you just naturally click with people and whatever. But I think everyone has a gift, and creativity. I think also everyone is creative in their own right.
Definitely.
Everyone, whether you're like an architect or even more of the careers where you don't like, even plumbing. Someone might not think that's a creativity. Do you know what I mean?
You can be very creative in accounting. The way you do your spreadsheets,
exactly.
The way you work with your clients, the way you divvy up the numbers, like it can be very creative and very enjoyable. Like you can make people who don't get that stuff really find it endearing and be like, so that's okay, cool, that's what it is.
But even the small decisions we make on a day-to-day life that people just overlook, like what you're going to eat, that takes creativity. Like what you're going to wear, that takes how you're going to get to work. You are creating a route in your head. And I think, I've spoken to some people where, because they're not in a quote-unquote creative industry, they think that they're not creative. And it's like, no, we create every day. You create friendships, you create your day in a way. Like you create,
it doesn't exist without you doing something for
it. Create your day, and in that, I think it's like there's your gift in it, and you have a choice to like share your gift, and all it is. Do you think you're sharing your gift?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think that's another reason why, with the pandemic, when it first came in 2020, it like rocked me so much, because all of a sudden, all of the ways and metrics that I had of quote unquote sharing this gift, whether it was doing events, music, etc., all got taken away. So that's why I feel like, all of a sudden my gift was just thrown under the bed again. And it wasn't my choice. It was just like, okay, we don't want to see this gift right now. Put that away. We don't need it in the world right now. And I think that's why it rocked me quite a lot as well. Just, that idea that the gift is no longer valuable. But of course, that is just me really thinking that. That's me allowing the impression of the world and accepting that, rather than thinking, hang on a sec, there are so many different ways this gift can still be manageable, A, and then B, valuable. Like, we actually developed more of a relationship throughout the pandemic, I think, because we had so many long, open, transparent conversations about stuff. It was like, that's a safe space in itself, us just chatting. So just to maintain that gift and find the different ways that it can like be fulfilled in different ways. And
you know what it is? I remember seeing a quote at a time that I needed to, because you know what, right, as well. So especially, again, I kind of believe everything happens for a reason. Like, you meet certain people at points in your life when you need to, whether they're a lesson or blessing or whatever comes your way. But then that also kind of like transpires onto the internet as well. So I always feel like when I come across a post, I've come across it at a time that I've needed to see it. And I remember seeing one, which I can't remember like exactly what it said, but it was along the lines of, don't ever kind of underestimate the kind of the power and the influence or the magic that you bring into other people's lives. Like, just those moments of having conversations with people and how much that might have meant to them at a time. Or do you know, sometimes even on the way here and I'm ranting to you and I'm just outwardly processing, that was a space that I needed, and I just needed someone to listen and pull things out. And it's these little things that sometimes, where we might not think it's productive, or, you know, that's not a tangible thing of like what I'm giving out to the world. You know, it's not a track, it's not a workshop I'm holding. But just those little moments where like we overlook them.
But that's the stuff that really builds the relationship a lot of the time as well. Like if you're able to feel like, okay, without having to like get the tangible results or without feeling like there's that resource there, but you just get to be yourself and you're just in that moment of being yourself. I actually heard this sick quote today, or this really short video or really short story today about meditation. There was a guy standing on a hill and there were 3 other guys who saw this guy literally just standing on a hill. The first guy looked at the guy and was like, he must be looking for something because why is he just standing on a hill? Second guy was like, no, if he was looking, he'd be moving and going backwards and forwards to find something. Surely he is, I can't remember what he said, but he said he was doing something or other. And then the third guy was like, no, he must obviously be meditating because he's just standing still. So they each approached him and were like, yo, what are you up to? And the guy's like, no, I'm not looking for anything. I'm not whatever the second thing was. And I'm also not
maybe waiting
actively meditate. Yeah, I think it was waiting actually. Yeah, well
See?
done. Well done.
I'm there, you know. Never seen the video before.
But you know what's cool.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not looking for anything. I'm not waiting for anything. And I'm also not actively meditating on anything.
Yeah.
I'm just standing. That's all he was doing. But in that, the moral of that story is that in doing that, in just being and just you don't actively have to do, but in just being, you are already doing something.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, I think they use the expression, you can't be the light if you're looking at the light.
Yeah.
Because you're literally looking at this thing, it's like, just be it.
Yeah.
Just be it.
And it comes down to, we're human beings. We're not human doings.
Yes.
And, and I think, again, that kind of translates into this hyper productivity kind of time that we're in now, like where we always must feel like we need to be producing something, and we've always been producing something, we've always been doing stuff that's productive, but now we live in a time and era, especially where creativity, like Paris was saying with the Gen Zs, your creativity is making you money. It is producing this wealth for you, and it's seen as more valuable. And you just being yourself, recording yourself online, and now that's a thing. But then, where do we draw the line with just almost just being and like having a hobby and just enjoying it, to not trying to monetize off of it, to not, because I feel like we lose a lot of the joy in that, where it's like, for instance, someone might really enjoy just writing poetry, and then someone's like, you should sell a book, you should do this, you should do, and then it becomes like, do you know what I mean? And then it's not like, and I mean, some people love it, but I think even that's how I felt with poetry, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie, because I haven't even gone back.
Guess, do you know what? There was someone who I seen who's an artist, and I remember, I didn't ever say to them, you should sell your art or anything, but I did question like, what do you do with it? Like, do you just paint it and then what? And they're like, yeah, I just paint. It comes to my mind, I paint, and then it's there. And I'm like, so it just lives in your room? She's like, yeah, that's it. And I was like, okay. But in my head, I'm bare thinking, but then ... there must be something that comes after that. And it's like, no, it is just painting for the sake of painting. It's not painting because you need to be a millionaire. The whole world needs to see what you're doing with your art. It's just an extension of your creativity again. There was one thing as well that I want to go into real quick because it's on my phone before it locks again.
Go on. Yeah, but keeping us
only saying that
on course. Yeah, go on.
Because Paris sent this to both of us, and it leans into the conversation that we had with her, and also this thing about being super productive and just taking your time and finding that balance.
And discipline.
So this is just a short tweet from Stephen Bartlett. I don't know when it was, but it says, long-term patience is a millennial growth hack. If you can stick at a good thing for a long time without letting Instagram convince you that the grass is greener elsewhere, you can go really, really far. Sorry.
Yeah, you ruined the impact.
I know.
I'm joking now, and it landed.
But long-term patience is a millennial growth hack. I think that's like a key one to just point out, simply because you and I are both very impatient. We're very, but I don't think we're outliers for that or anomalies for that. I think that's just a trait amongst a lot of us, because we feel the instant gratification stuff we were talking about last time.
Yeah.
Or we just see so much going on that you just feel like, of course you can measure yourself against that. I went to school with that person, or we're pretty similar, so why can't I do that? And why haven't I done this, etc. But
yeah, no, because And also, I think it's also a London-centric thing as well. Because
it's harder here. 100.
Yeah, because I think about it, right? So when I went to university, I went to Manchester Metropolitan. My campus was in Crewe, the middle of nowhere, complete opposite to London. Like, didn't even have a Nando's, didn't even have a Primark. There was hardly anything going on there.
Yeah.
I hated the first year. I wanted to leave. My mum was like, absolutely not, you're staying in there, which thank God I did. And then I kind of got adjusted to a new way of life, like a lot slower, less things to do.
Yeah.
I didn't like going out that much, surprisingly enough. I didn't really drink that much. I didn't really go out that much.
This
I was
is
in
a whole different version of Amelia.
Like, you know what it was? I was in a relationship, innit? And I was really trying to prove to him and to me that I'm going to make this work. So I'm not going to go out and just be in certain scenarios that might cause problems or whatever. So I went to the gym. I decided to go to the gym. And I didn't go on a thing of like, I'm only going to do this for like the month, or I'm only going to do this for like, I just said I'm just going to make it a part of my habit. And that meant I would just get up every day, go to the gym. I was never really like clocking. I mean, I did kind of get obsessed with the scales and stuff because I started to see results. Yeah. But I probably lost the most weight I've ever lost in my life. Like, I was probably the slimmest I've ever been, the healthiest I've ever been. But it's also because I had mad patience as well. Like, I wasn't aiming for something to like have it done by a certain time. I was just enjoying the process of it. And I clock now, because there's even times, obviously I've moved back to London, there's more things to do, I'm eating more, drinking more, whatever. And I always felt this urge that like I wish I could go back to uni and just like have like a year, because I'd done that over like maybe like 6 months, and I was like, how did I do it? Like I felt like I wasn't stressed. Like even now, like back in London, it's like fitting it in the schedule, I need to do it this month, and this month I'm going to dedicate myself to it, and then next month I'm going to do whatever. But I think I've also just lost that patience because of all the other distractions, or like I feel like I have to just achieve it now and get back to it now, and everyone's doing it now. Whereas when I was in Crewe, honestly, and them times social media wasn't really a thing either. Well, I'm showing our age now, but social media, like Instagram, I think just came about. Snapchat Instagram was kind of kicking off. There. I remember Snapchat actually in third year, because I remember my housemate had Snapchat.
Okay, yeah.
And
so
I was like, what the hell
is
this? Yeah. But them times I just realised, I think, I was just, one, being out of London, I kind of could afford to just take things slower. And I wasn't always exposed to what everyone else was doing. So I even remember when I came back for my birthday once, like, and my ex at the time done a surprise get together. And I remember coming out, and honestly, some of my friends' jaws nearly dropped to the floor because they were like, you look so different. I hadn't even clocked it though. They're like, you look so different. But I think, again, that worked really well for me because I wasn't comparing myself to others. Yeah. I had less to do, and I wasn't giving myself a time scale to do it in. I was just like, let me just commit to this and see how it goes. So I think I need to learn from that and actually bring that back now.
The thing, because I was very similar in uni. Again, I was in a relationship. Gym or exercise was just a standard thing as well. It wasn't like, you know, okay, here's my... Actually, no, my only goal was that I wanted to get hench. That was it. So I was like, all right, I just got to get hench. By the time I'm 21, I need to be in peak form or whatever. Isn't it? It was very obnoxious, but it happened. But yeah, I know one of the main things of that, because it is London, but at the same time, in uni, you got bare time, man.
Bare time.
I had so much time, especially in third. I actually had more time in third year. Like, I think my last semester, I only had 8 hours that I needed to do in a week. So it's like, what else obviously you go to library, do whatever, but like I had so much time. Whereas now, I guess this is what they call adulting.
I know.
This is what they call it. Yeah, your time is not, it's not always your own. Yeah. That's one of the key problems now, isn't it? Because I was literally thinking about gym this morning. I was like, I would love to just go, but gotta do X, Y, Z.
Gotta come here and record this.
Oh my God. But there's always something that needs to get done. That's what it feels like at the moment. Whether that's a London-centric thing or an adulting thing or a millennial across the board. Yeah, like it could be any of those or all of those factors all together, innit?
Because also, like off the back of that, do you know one thing? When I listen back to myself, I'm like, Amelia, speak slower. You don't need to rush your words. Like, calm down. But I was having this conversation with my mum recently. So I was the child that every day after school I had some club to go to. Whether I was going drama, ballet, tap, swimming, Saturday school. It was like productive, be productive. Use your time, do something. And everything I did do, my family, they were kind of critical. Like they would always criticize me. So it wasn't, I could do better. But I think that comes off the back of my mum not having that many opportunities when she came over here. So she was like, I want to give Amelia all of the opportunities. I remember once, I think I said I like the guitar. She had me doing private tutor lessons with a guitarist. Everything I said I liked doing, she was like, right, we're going to do it. And I thank her for that though anyway.
Yeah, that's sick.
But I even said to her, I was like, Mum, I think that's why I also don't even know how to rest properly, because I wasn't allowed to lie in my bed all day.
Yeah.
Like I was not allowed. She will bust through the door, be like, seize the day, carpe diem, get up, Amelia. Opportunities don't come from nothing. Go out there, get it. So now that's ingrained in me now, to the point now where I am now dipping my fingers in too many pies and doing too much, because I feel like I just need to be producing, but to the point where it's not even productive anymore, because I'm not seeing anything out. Like I'm not actually sticking to one thing for long enough, like this guy's saying, life, like patience. I'm not sticking to it long enough to actually really see where it could go, because I'm like, I might get quicker gratification from this thing over there, or let me just go and do this. Even the same way I'm trying to look at this year, I'm like, let me look at it as 12 months as opposed to January, what do I want to achieve? Let me actually just think, what can I achieve in the year? If I actually, even with gym, I'm thinking, if I just stick to this at this pace for the whole year, I'll be looking mad.
And then come December 2022, when you're in Ghana,
come on, are we getting married?
I'm coming anyway. I'm coming. I'm turning up. Yeah, we're all having a great time because we're going to look good.
We're going to look good.
We're going to be feeling good. Trust me.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you're right. Like every like end of the year or beginning of the new year, when you're reflecting on the previous year, there's always these mad things that have happened that, or I know this definitely for myself, there's always these mad things that have happened where you're like, I didn't even plan for that. I didn't even schedule that. But the fact that that happened is such a key moment in that year, that and whatever we want to say. And I agree with you on the fact that I think you do need some shorter term goals, like a January, a February. Okay, this is what I want to get in 4 weeks, this month, etc. But overall, it is a balance across at least a year. That's why we have these kind of timestamps where it's like, okay, cool, across that period of time, what actually has happened? And when we did the reflection in our first episode, biggest L's, biggest W's and all of that, I remember all of mine, or pretty much most of mine, weren't things that I had actually aspired to. They were things that had naturally come just from taking the time and doing the work at the right moments. And I think being kind to yourself is so important, because a lot of us are doing more than we need to do anyway.
Oh, too much.
We're doing way more.
And do you know what it is as well? It's like, I think I've personally had to really swallow the pill that social media has a massive impact on me and our generation now. It's this thing that has now grown, and like, again, we're the generation that saw it come in. So I think even at one point we always just saw it as, it's just social media. Like, you can't let social media get to you. It's just this.
What was the first one that you had? Do you remember?
Pixo.
You had Pixo, yeah, man.
Pixo. Do you know how long I used to spend on my Pixo customizing it?
I had Bebo.
Oh, I didn't have Bebo.
Yeah, that was the one I had.
But
first.
I had Pixo. Oh my God. If I could ever get on that.
I made a MySpace because someone made a fake profile of me on MySpace.
Oh, really? You were that popular?
Apparently, innit?
But you know what's so mad? So then obviously with Facebook, I would actually just check my Facebook maybe once a day. And that would be in like IT, go on the like proxy sites, check it and just leave it. And how have we got from that point now where I would probably, over the whole weekend, I wouldn't even look at my Facebook. And I also even think about nights out. Back in the day, it was never about pictures. I think and you would take pictures on the like disposable cameras and you wouldn't see it. So we was way less conscious of ourselves. Way less conscious of what we look like to other people. And now we've very much come to a point now, well, whether you like it or not. And I mean, my brother's not on social media. So he's...
I rate that.
And but he even says like, he doesn't need it. Yeah, he doesn't want it. For him. He doesn't, but he's like, he doesn't really want to start feeling self-conscious about things, which I rate him. But then I'm like, there's me. And yes, there's good sides to social media. Like, you can get jobs through social media. You could get
find partners.
Do you know what I mean?
You can do a lot through socials.
Do you know, same. I'm not saying same.
Hey,
but there's literally the other side of social media where why am I seeing absolutely everything that you're doing on your day? No, I actually even thought to myself, I don't think we're supposed to see this much of other people, because then now I have a perception of you that's not even true. Why am I seeing what you're eating for breakfast, what you're eating for dinner? Why do I know where you are at every minute of the day? Why? I don't need to know all of this. But then also, now I'm constantly, subconsciously comparing myself to other people. Like, if I'm having a shit day and I know I haven't really done anything today, like, imagine, okay, you're thinking, oh, I wish I got to the gym. Imagine you went on your social media now and you're seeing like bare people at the gym. It's playing on you. It's playing on your mind. But remember, there was a time when we didn't have that. We just done what we wanted to do.
Facts. I feel like our millennial generation is probably the one that's gonna feel the brunt of it the most as well. And I say that because the generation before us, they didn't grow up with it, so it's kind of a thing of they might have a fixed platform that they go to at the moment, or they've kind of dabbled in a few, but it's not part of their regular scheduled programming, really and truly. For some, obviously it is, but generally speaking, it's not. And I feel the generation under us, because by the time they are actually on these platforms, they're all established. They get to like, okay, cool, I know it's this one for me. I know it's TikTok for me, or I know it's Instagram for me. Or I know it's whereas us, we went through all of these games. Yeah, literally, we're the guinea pigs. And we've been on all of them and been like, we've seen how they've evolved and adapted, and they've shaped how some of us have evolved and adapted as well, which is crazy to say. But like, even with Facebook and pictures, for instance, like that developed into Instagram. Yeah. And it's only because people from our generation would post their like 18th and have 250 pictures from the night out.
Remember that? You'd get up and you're tagged in 50 pictures.
And there's 99, it says, you and 99 others. Like, fam, what?
There was no permission, there was no consent. You were just in them.
Literally.
Some people have the cheek to tag you slipping in a picture. Why are you tagging me at the back of that picture for? What do you want from me?
Have you looked at your old Facebook pictures or anything?
Yeah, I have. Like, because I still am on the Facebook a little bit, because it's mad as well. I feel like I can't delete it because there's certain people I only have on Facebook. But I remember actually I had another Facebook.
Okay.
Which I can't for the life of me get into that. Yeah. Do you know what? The almost, I guess, not even sinister side of that is I had to delete that Facebook because I had trolls on that Facebook. I had people that were always sending me some shit like, you think you're too nice, but yeah. I had some haters.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel like I just had to delete that Facebook and start fresh with new, because I was like, who are these? Like, who? What?
Oh, you didn't even know these? It's not like people in college or anything.
No, and I think they were definitely from my college.
Okay.
Because the things he was saying, I was like, definitely from college.
Yeah.
But I had some serious haters. Damn. And it was playing on my insecurities a lot. So I had to like delete that Facebook, start a whole fresh one. But if I got it back into that old one, oh my God, I don't even know what I'd see.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I would probably get called out for some old whatevers. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know why? Yeah. And I will say this because I think it's quite important. Our generation growing up, especially when we were young, like 11, 12, whatever, there was no filter. I remember for us, there was still this thing of, and it's not good, and I'm not proud of this, but there was a thing of homophobia was actually quite a standardized thing. When we were like 11, 12 or whatever.
The music we listened to was just so homophobic.
Even
the language.
The word gay was synonymous with bad. Like, you say, that's gay. And it's like, when you think about it, you're like, what the hell were you actually saying, kind of thing. But that kind of stuff was very regular behavior for our generation, which is a big red flag,
100.
terrible thing that we all did. Not all did, but a lot of us did at the time. So I can imagine that if someone went as far back as like MySpace, if that still exists, I'll probably get cancelled.
You'll get cancelled.
I probably would. I'd apologise because I'm a
it's
whole
mad.
new person.
No, but it's so true though. It's so, even like colorism was rife.
Yeah, it was normal.
You know how like in school, blick this, blick that, blick this. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and stuff like Somalian this. Like people were picked on. Like it wasn't
literally. So I mean, there's probably some shit I was saying on Facebook. I mean, I've never gone back and said, oh, hopefully he's dead. It's on a part of the web you can never access. But 100%. And Yeah. And again, that's our and I think now Gen Zs are a lot more woke.
Yeah.
They're having a lot
100.
more of these conversations earlier than we were, because we, like you said, we normalized a lot of this. Like,
that's because it was normalized onto us.
Yeah,
though,
I know.
Like the generation above, they obviously grew up in a different time.
Yeah,
innit?
exactly.
Like, I always say to my parents, bro, you lot made it through the 80s. Because that generation, Margaret Thatcher, just a lot of stuff going on.
And also racism was just plain
it's
and
normal.
simple.
Yeah.
Like,
right,
racist.
How you doing?
Do you know what I mean?
That'd be normal kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, the fact you lot had to endure all of that, I get why you might think off comments are just off comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that thing where the generation under us, they've kind of seen how we've kind of weaned our way through, filtered out some of the crap. And again, they kind of have it where it's like, no. Different value system. That was another thing that I was talking about in the previous pod with Paris as well, how I think they just have a different value system to what we grew up with, i.e. they are more, as you said, woke. They are more conscious of just their environment, how they are socially, stuff like social media. Like, it's not weird that Jay doesn't, or your brother doesn't have social media. I know a lot of young people who are like either on it or completely off it. Yeah, it's like they made that very intentional decision of I'm either on it or I'm off it. Whereas I know for myself, I'm very much like, I hate social media, but I'm on Instagram every day.
Yeah.
It's like this flip-floppy stuff, I still do it, even though something like Twitter doesn't really, I don't go on a lot of them basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not as good as some of these millennials, man.
No, it's not at all.
I mean, Gen Zs, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So you see with Instagram, yeah, why is it, because I'm going to ask you because you're a man.
Go on.
Why is it a lot of men just have like 2 pictures? No, what is that about? And bare pictures are just archived. So they've got pictures, but they've only got like 2 up. So what am I supposed to pre?
Those 2 pictures.
No, but I actually feel like the way men,
pictures.
Well, obviously not all men, but the way some men use Instagram, let's just say, as opposed to how women use it. Because surely there must be things that you think, why do women do this? But answer my question first. Why do you have 2 pictures?
Because that's all you need to see at that moment in time. Honestly, that's actually... Because there will be a time where I'll probably go on my Instagram and be like, all right, everything can go. And I only want you to see this and this.
Yeah, I saw you done it. Like, I saw once I clocked. Like,
everything went.
Way less posts.
Yeah, I think I ended up with 6 posts.
But is that for you or the viewers?
In my case, that was for me.
Okay.
I felt like I had to just get rid of a lot of stuff on my page. I think as I was going through this identity crisis and this feeling of real uncomfortability because there's something changing or something developing, as I'm analysing a lot of the stuff that I had, obviously it's just reminding me of a previous version of myself. And I was like, all right, this doesn't represent who I am right now or how I'm feeling right now or who I really want to take into the future. There's a couple of things that I still held on to because I was like, no, this is sick. I like this. But a lot of it was just, no, that can be in the archives, like for my memory or for if other people are involved for our memories or whatever it is. But it doesn't need to be the representation of me because someone you meet, they'll go on it, they'll see your Insta and then they'll be like, okay, so this is who this person is. And if I don't feel that actually is me, it's got to go.
Okay.
It's got to go. But yeah, as to why guys have 2 pictures, guys don't really be doing up pictures like that, man.
I know, I've clocked
like,
it
we
actually.
Just don't be
it's very
doing
rare.
pictures.
Like, it's like, I think for women, we take pictures all the time. Like, we've got a lot of content that we can put up, like a lot. But yeah, I've noticed it with some guys. It's like
I've noticed it with a lot of women though as well.
What? Just a few pictures?
Yeah, because my Explore page is a bit mad sometimes. And
let's unpack that.
I like what I like, innit? You see certain profiles and you're like, oh, you got 12. Yeah, 12 is like a normal number that I see sometimes where it's like you start to scroll but it ends and you're like, oh, okay.
Maybe I've got way too many then.
Nah, man, your profile's good.
Do you know what? Here's another question, yeah. Do you, let's just say when you're going through a stage and maybe you are having a bit of an identity crisis, do you almost look at your social media as a way to kind of gauge who you are? Yeah,
very much so. Very much so, because I think the fact it gives you the time and date of whatever you were experiencing, that really helps as well, because you can, my memory is terrible, innit? But something like my Instagram or whatever will show me, okay, I was doing this around this around this around this. This is, and when I see something, I don't know if I have a photographic memory or whatever, but when I see something, I'm very much like, aha, I can attribute or associate the feeling that I had with it to that image. So I'm like, okay, this is how I felt then. And if I feel completely different now, I'll be able to distinguish and just be like, all right, cool. I can either get rid of that or just accept to myself that I've moved beyond whatever that was as well. So yeah, socials help, but it's not the only thing. I think for me, another thing that really helped me was journaling.
Yeah.
Like, that was something I really got into last year. Yeah, last year. I got into journaling a lot just because I needed to externalize, but I didn't need to like put it out on social media for everyone to see what's going on in my mind. It was more just, okay, let me unpack this a bit. Let me get into this a bit more and really do it for myself, because I think the self-help and the self-work is the most important thing in the end. Like therapy, life coach, etc. All of these are really things to enable you to be able to help yourself in the long run. So I think I kind of circumvented those things. Probably I shouldn't have, but I did at the time, and just thought, okay, cool, journaling, let me try that one. And it did actually really, really help me.
Okay. Because I remember I watched the video, I can't remember exactly what the man was saying or who the man was, but he was talking about, we are in the age now where we have a digital self, and like our social media is our digital self. It's an extension of ourselves, but it's almost just another self. Do you know what I mean? And I think because a lot of us, whether we want to admit it or not, we are very much like, oh, what do I want others to perceive of me?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes, you know how many times I go on I'm giving it all away now, but how many times I go on my Instagram and just try and view it as like another person, like, oh, what does this girl look like? Like, oh, do I look fun? Do I look like this?
You go on your own profile?
Yeah, I'll go on my own profile and I'll just like look at it, like try and see my profile from like someone else. Like, let me imagine I just don't know this person.
Do you know what's really, because let's say Instagram, yeah, I very rarely ever even, you know when you do a story and you see who's watched your story? The only time I ever really do that is if I've done like a poll, and I'm not even seeing I'm just seeing the poll. Like, I don't have that attachment.
Right. Now, I was thinking about this the other day. I think that is a feature Instagram needs to either get rid of or give you the choice of not having it. Because I have definitely been a person who has... Yeah. I always watch who's watched my stories.
Why?
I always watch it because I want to know who's engaged, who's actually looking at my profile.
Contact those people like, hey, thanks for watching.
No. However, okay. And I know I'm not alone with this. This is why I need more women in here, because I know I'm not alone. And actually, it's not just women that do it anyway. But let's just say there's someone that you like.
Okay.
And you want to know how much they're watching your stuff. And
is
like,
that the way to tell though?
This is it though, because that's not necessarily engagement. Like, there's been times I've watched people's stories and I haven't actually really watched it. It's just been flicking through. I'm not actually taking it in. But also, now the point where I stand, where it's like I think Instagram should get rid of that feature, is, again, sometimes we interpret it in the wrong way. Like, I've watched people's stories where they've written some long post. I've not read it. I don't have the time. I flick through it, and then later on, I've seen them write something like, "Bear of you to watch this," and no one's even said anything, and it's just like, yo, like. If that's me passively engaging, like when I just want to scroll through your stories, it doesn't mean I want to chat to you.
Facts.
It doesn't mean I want to chat to you. But now I sometimes feel that pressure that if I've seen something and I know that they know I've seen it, I have to respond. Really? And I'm like, it's almost like a bit exhausting. And I actually thought, what are the benefits of actually seeing who can view your story? What are the actual real benefits? Because imagine if I want you to know I've watched your story, I would just simply reply to it so you know that I've watched it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
then I think Instagram, because I think there's a lot, like I love the feature now Instagram's got where you don't have to show how many people liked your photos.
Yes.
I love that.
I put that in straight away.
Same. Like, I love it because it's like, why does everyone else need to know that?
Exactly.
And we are getting too like.
And you get judged on that as well.
Yeah, and the engagement. Some people will really take down a picture if it hasn't had that many likes.
And yeah, repost it. But this, I can't blame them for that though, because the aim of the game is engagement. That's what they make. It's not about just do it because you like posting stuff. It's engagement. It's like how many people are liking this, seeing this, commenting on da. So if it doesn't do well, do it and do it again.
I know, but
do it again.
Yeah. But then who is it for?
It's for the people. It's for the culture.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just it's just there's a lot of social. My views on social media are very mixed. Like again, like sometimes I just want to come off of it all and just live an incognito life. And if you want to see me, check up on me. You actually have to actively find me and see me, because I do feel like everyone's just so accessible now that you're not checking in with people as much as you should do. But then also there's certain people that get to see aspects of your life that they shouldn't actually be able to see.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you get offended if you've messaged somebody, let's say on WhatsApp or text or whatever, they haven't responded, but you've seen that active on socials?
Right, this is a subject we need to unpack. So I have been offended. But then again, I've had to be very honest with myself as to why am I offended, because I do that shit as well.
Yeah.
So I had to pattern myself and be like, just because someone's read your message doesn't mean they need to reply straight away. Yeah. Because I believe that, like, I know we're in a day and age now of instant messaging, but I don't need to respond to messages all the time. And I've had to remind myself that, like, just because I've seen it doesn't mean I need to respond straight away. Let's go back to the days of emails. Remember? Like, you know, I'll reply when I can.
Treating WhatsApp a little bit, you know.
Do you know what I mean? But I definitely have. There's been times where it's pissed me off, and I'll be very honest with you. It's because I'm impatient and I want the answer now. Or I have feelings for you and I start acting like an idiot. That's why. I have feelings for you. Like, I actually like you, and you not responding is making me feel insecure. Fair. And that's just me being honest. And that's down to me. And I'm sometimes maybe he's just not that into you, Amelia. Or maybe he's actually just that busy. It's not that deep. At the end of the day, it is not that deep. And I've definitely now that shit wouldn't annoy me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't annoy me now, because I'm like, it is what it is. They'll chat to you when they want to chat to you. Like, it's fine. And I even say to people as well sometimes, like, get back to me when you can. Yeah. Even when I'm like sending long voice notes, because I'm a long voice noter, I'll sometimes say to people, like, after I've sent
Super
it.
Long voice
I've
definitely had, I think, 22 minutes from you, 17 minutes from you. You know, when I see it, I'm like, okay.
Oh, don't say.
No, because all it is in my head, I'm like, all right,
I've got to unpack that.
Yeah, there's got to be a moment in the day where I'm properly focusing on what Amelia's saying here. That's all it is.
Yeah. I just like to communicate that way. But I'll say to people, like, definitely, like, after I've sent it, I'll send a message and be like, listen to that when you can and get back to me when you can on that. Because I mean, I'm also still human. Like, then there's also a difference. Sometimes people are just ignoring you.
Yeah, no,
like they're actually just ignoring you.
Happens.
So it's like there's a balance in it. Like, now, if you do this all the time, and maybe you don't want to talk to me. Like, maybe you just don't want to talk to me, or maybe you just only want to talk to me when you can gain something. And you have to differentiate those. But yes, to answer your question, it has annoyed me before. I've patterned myself because I was like, because also social media at one point really did have an impact on how I was genuinely feeling.
About yourself, or just about...
do you know how much time I've wasted on social media waiting for someone to look at my story?
What do you mean?
Oh, see, I'm really exposing myself.
As in, wait, you'll post a story.
I will post a story,
and then you watch your own.
No, I will just constantly check every other minute to see whether someone's viewed it. Like that one person that I want to view it. And I remember at one point, I actually had to just look at myself doing this and being like, "Are you dumb?" Why are you wasting your whole day waiting for someone to watch your story?
Why not just send them the story as well?
No, that's too direct. And no, but also at the same time, the fucking endorphins or whatever good hormones that are released in my body when you get a reply from that person from the story, and they.
This is all a game. I hope you're listening. This is what they want. This is what they want.
You to respond.
It's a game. It's a game.
Yeah, I had to come off Snapchat because I was the worst for that. Like, I would actually, at some points, I'm exposing myself. This was years ago. Because I don't even really use Snapchat like that anymore. I would actually make it so only one person could view my story, and it was the person that I wanted.
Really?
And I would just
Is that
have
just a
it
private
up.
story or something?
No. So basically, I would stop this was before private stories.
Okay.
But I would stop everyone else from seeing my story, upload one thing.
Yeah.
So then I'll know the minute it's been viewed by like one person, it's been viewed by them, and it was really only just for them. Idiot things, man. I had to move away from that stuff. I was younger.
How much younger? This was like 2 years ago, innit?
No, I'd say about 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Do you know? I'm just deep in everything you just.
Do you know what I realized? I really do educate you on a lot of like things that women do.
Because your use of social media is way different
Yeah,
to mine.
yeah, I know.
Like, I don't care who's viewed my story.
Yeah, I know you don't.
90% of the time. I might check it occasionally, but because Instagram always likes to play me as well, where one day 20 people have seen my story, then another day 400 people have seen it. That actually used to jar me a lot, and that's why I also thought, you know what? Don't even give it that attention. Don't even give it that much value in your life, because you will get stressed about it. Hence why I don't even check those things. And what was the other one you just said? Yeah, if there's someone in particular, I'm like, I want you to see this, I'm sending it to you.
Yeah, but Lems, there's certain things I'm not gonna.
But do you know what? Maybe that's the difference in like how heterosexual men and women are meant to, or quote unquote, meant to approach these things.
We like to be. We like to put ourselves in your way.
Yeah, not so directly say, hey, this is what I want.
So then you can make the move, bro.
Oh,
do you know what I'm saying? You can make the move.
Well, thank you for educating all
the
men out here listening.
But this is the perks of having friends of different genders. This is the perks,
100%.
because
I think it's an essential.
Absolutely.
And then you still have people who look, Steve Harvey's a great guy. He's done a lot of good stuff. He's a funny guy. He's a good guy at talking. But please do not live by that word that he said, that men and women, heterosexual men and women, cannot be friends.
I think that's the most. It's so problematic on so many levels.
It is
so problematic.
It really is.
And I think, do you know, in one of our episodes, we will unpack this on a serious level. Because
I would love other people to chime in as well.
Yeah.
Like, just to let us know, what do you actually think about that? But
because even like the other day, I was on TikTok and I was watching this girl. I've forgotten her name, but I find her really funny. Like, she always tells stories on TikTok. And she was talking about how her future husband couldn't have a female best friend. She'd have to end that. She'll be like, no way. She was like, no way.
Okay, so this is one thing that I'm like, okay, I actually hear.
Okay.
If it's best friend, in my head, I'm my partner's best friend, innit?
Yeah.
So why have you got another
friend?
Oh! That's how I see that in my... But obviously, if you just have male friend, cool. I've got female friend, you got male, great, cool, whatever. But like, best friend, I'm your best friend.
Do you know what? I really don't like the term best friend.
That's why it's reserved in my head for like,
true.
We do life. Like,
trust me.
Otherwise, different friends are like almost for not different reasons, but everyone represents something slightly different. There's a base layer of trust, loyalty, respect. That obviously all friends have. But, you know, me and you talk in a slightly different way than me and some of my guy friends, for instance, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think...
Can't do that.
But then again, okay, so take away the best friend element, but it's this idea of having like a close friend that is of the opposite gender, that there's suddenly so much problem. Like I actually remember like a guy saying to me that he would not want his partner to have close male friends.
So
and that's a problem.
No.
And honestly, I remember at the time, so me and him were just getting to know each other. I was like, that's a hell of a red flag for me, because I've got male friends that I'm actually very close to that I will talk to about a lot of stuff, and I don't need you chiming in my ear, kind of being like, oh, why are you gonna... Like, I just don't... Like, it just says a lot about you. Like, it just screams insecurity to me, because... it just irritates me. I remember thinking, okay, jealousy.
Do you know what? Hey Reezy, shout out to New Motion. Hey Reezy said a really good point after the pod as well. The last one with Paris, where he basically said that a lot of the time, for a lot of guys, that just stems from the fact that it's a projection thing, innit? Where it's like, that's how I would feel about the situation, as opposed to, I trust you to act in the way that I imagine you would, just because of the fact that I trust you. It's just, this is how I would be in the situation. If I had bare girls around me who would just my friends, I'd probably be preying, or I'd probably be looking at them in a certain way. And that in itself in my head is like, you got to audit yourself. trust me, like I've audited myself on all of my female friends where I'm like, okay, what is this? Like, why do you want this person around you? And you have to be so honest with yourself, so real. Like, if it's a thing where you like someone, cool, you like that person, innit? But if it's actually a thing of, because I remember when we first met, you were performing.
Yeah,
I know you thought I was trying to chirp you or whatever.
Well, yeah, then you're like, oh, because we can like work on some stuff together, and obviously I thought, yeah, okay, sure.
She didn't trust me, guys. But literally, because I'd seen you in a creative capacity, like on stage and performing, that's how that was the association in my head immediately. And I was in a relationship anyway, so for me it was just...
obviously I didn't know that off the get-go, innit?
Of course.
And also, it don't matter to some guys as well, does it? Do you know what I mean? It don't matter.
Saying this. I know that was going on.
No, I just mean
to the man.
No, but like just generally, some guys, that's not a thing for them.
For real, some guys and some girls, some people just don't care about that
some
shit.
Some people don't care, innit?
And that's probably the people who be like, you can't have friends.
This is it though. This is it. And for me, do you know what it is? I went to a girls' school. Like, there was a large chunk of my life where I actually wasn't around men in just like a very friendly, platonic environment where I could just have male friends. So even when I went to college, I suddenly started to have like male friends. And even at one point I thought, you know what, I get on really well with this guy. Is there something there? And then I realized it's not it's just because you get along with a guy and like, maybe in anyone else's eyes, you two get on, maybe you should see something there. It's not always the case. And I think for me, it was when I went to uni and I got really close with like one of my housemates, like we just happened to be put together in the same house. And like the friendship that I had with this guy, like he legit got me through uni. Like he's like up to this day, like I've got so much love for him. And it's just nice to share those different perspectives. Like we would always have very, very deep conversations around like deep things, but from a woman's lens, from a male lens. He was always very honest with me. I was always very honest with him. But I saw the real beauty in like having a close, he was basically like a brother to me, man. Yeah,
and I feel like that foundation of, look, we just get on very, very well is very important, because the whole guys and girls can't be friends thing, that always leans itself in my head in you have to only be friends with people that you're attracted to then. Like, you have some sort of physical attraction to this person. That's the only reason that you might even be friends or entertain the friendship. Where, as I said, with us, it was the fact that I saw creativity first. I wasn't praying. Like, I just saw the creativity first, and that's what it was. And with...
Thanks.
Sorry. With pretty much all of my friends who are females, and don't get me wrong, there's not like but pretty much all of them, there has been this mutual resonance in something. Yeah. Before I've even thought, actually, you're quite good looking. People come up to me and like, yo, Amelia, yo, this person. I'm like, okay, like.
Well, what did they say?
Yeah,
about Amelia?
Anyway. So yeah.
What did they say?
You've got admirers, isn't it?
Who?
Like, I'm not naming. Come on, man. Can you imagine? I just started rattling.
Because when I've asked you this question before, and I've actually said to you, I've told you
people in the past.
You've mentioned one name.
Ooh, I like that or not. That's up to you.
No, but you've mentioned one name, innit?
Okay,
after this we're gonna have to unpack that, innit? Because I need to know who.
Unpack.
Yeah, I need to know who my admirers are on the sly. But no, obviously on my end, Lemzi. No. Because we're friends.
Oh, you mean me and you? Oh, I thought you meant...
No. I felt like something going on. And again, I think it's through their eyes. Oh, you are really close, so there must be something going on. No. Actually, it's a friendship that has organically come from our love around creativity. But I think also what it was for us is that we wanted a real purpose to what we were doing. Because I think it was when I done the event for Shelter. Yes. That's when I saw how much effort you were giving it and how much time. Yeah. And I really appreciate that, because I knew you the least out of everyone on that lineup, and you were really showing up for me. And I was like, I like this. I feel like you genuinely care about the cause. Yeah. And I think there was that synergy between me and you and what we wanted to create. Even with that Infacts, we wanted to create something almost for others.
Facts, yeah. That was it.
Yeah, and even with this, like, we create this, even though sometimes I do feel like it's just us wanting to talk and project.
It's just, why don't we just record some of these conversations that we have? That's all it is.
Literally. But yeah, man, I think you're definitely cheating yourself out of very, very valuable relationships. Well, when I say that, platonic relationships, if you feel like you can't just be a friend, like be friends with someone of the opposite sex to you. I think that's you're just cheating yourself out of it.
Yeah,
and also you need to look at yourself at some point. Like, must you jump on every person who's of the opposite sex to you? And even like I said to you before, like people who are homosexual and they will have friends of the same gender of their, and are they jumping on everyone? No. What is this? I think no, it's ridiculous.
That's why the statement in it, because I even added the heterosexual thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That helps Steve Harvey's argument. But even if we take that word out, we just say men and women can't be. That's the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's so ridiculous.
All it is that you're on bare girls. That's it. Or the girls on like wants to run. Like, cool if that's what you're on, but come on, man, you can't tell me that every single person of the opposite sex you see, you're like, yes, I'm on it. Like,
honestly,
in that way.
But I've seen men talk with their chest saying, no, there's no way you could be friends with a woman and you get on with her so well and you ain't ever gonna do a thing. Okay, keep that to yourself. Just keep that to yourself. Because also, let's just there's a lot of problems in that. Yeah, but we'll
have a proper
we'll park that to unpack that another time. Sorry, is your phone going off, bro? Well, you're busy, innit?
It's not.
You're bare busy. You're bare busy, though.
You know, that's just bare family chats.
No one's texted me. I've got one message.
Oh, is it?
Don't ask no questions. I don't want to tell no lies. Cool. All right, I've got a quick question for you. I'm conscious of the time, but also, I like this question.
Go on.
What do you think a common misconception others have of you?
I think one of the ones is that I'm a nice person, but I think people think I'm super like.
Oh right.
But like to the point where I remember people saying to me, they were like, "Oh yeah, I thought you were like a really good Christian," or like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, you just seem like such a noble person. Like I see you on a pedestal." Like people put me on a pedestal for stuff, innit? And I was like, if you knew, like, if you knew how oh my gosh. And to be fair, it must be how I'm putting myself across. Like, let's say social media, even as an example, where I don't go on it all the time, but when I do go on it, it is usually me putting stuff I only want you to see. Like, I have a trim, for instance. I want you to see this. I want you to see me doing this in this moment, saying these kind of things, because I think this is the best thing to go on this platform. As opposed to, even right now, I'm just very, very casual. I'll just like
right now anyway, he's wearing like a kind of what color is that? Like no, it's definitely, men are colorblind, bro. That's not coral. I'll say almost like a
coral, like I just
pastel
that color
purple / pink tracksuit bottoms. He's got on his Adidas trainers. He's got the colours are doing nice here. I'm not gonna very chilled. Yeah, you look nice. You look nice.
Thank you.
There you go. That's a compliment.
Hey, finally.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, but it's that factor. I think that's one misconception about me. Innit?
Okay, that people think you're just super, super nice on a pedestal. Would do no wrong. Jesus Christ himself type of vibe.
I won't go that. You said that last one yourself. Like I never said whoa.
I'm joking. Yeah.
But that is that's a misconception. But what about you?
I feel like people think I'm confident 100% of the time, and I've this word confident comes up a lot when people like describe me or explain me. My mum thinks I'm super, super confident. My brother thinks I'm super, super confident. My friends would use the words confident a lot with me, and I guess it's obviously in the field that I do, presenting, hosting. It is about dominating a space and dominating or like leading on something. Even men as well just seem to think because I'm confident in some areas of my life that I'm going to be dominating in.
I feel like this is the episode we learned everything about me.
But they just think, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to have to be a leader in every aspect of my life.
Why do I feel like these are shots to somebody out there?
No.
My guy.
No, these are not. No. These are not shots. No, but I'm just saying, like, this word confidence gets thinged around with me so much. And I was thinking about it today, that like, and not even today, I've been thinking about it as of recent, that like, I am not confident in every aspect of my life all the time. I am also, I think people think I'm an extrovert. There's an introvert in me as well. Like sometimes I'm quite anti, and I just want to be alone, and I just want to be away from people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I am quite reserved, and actually I learned that my confidence actually came from me faking it a lot of the time before. When I was younger, I used to fake, like, when I was younger, I was very much a people pleaser. I just always wanted to, like, please other people. I wanted to just make people laugh and whatever. And I learned in some environments where you've got, like, bigger characters, you just get swallowed in those environments. So I had to assert myself in a certain way and almost just pretend to be confident to the point that I've tricked myself that I've got this. And now there's still parts of that play out. Like, there's definitely times I actually don't feel confident in an environment, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to let everyone else know, innit?
I feel like unless you're a proper extrovert, I feel that's how everyone builds confidence, though. Because I was the same. I was quite shy. But because I think for me, I'm a year older than my sister. And, you know, when you get introduced to uncles or just adults, one of you has to say something, innit? And I'm the older one. I'm the boy, which for whatever reason meant something. So I'd always have to be the one who's like, hi, I'm Alex, or whatever.
That's his real name, everyone.
Yeah, I'll give my government. It's fine. This is Impact Chats, isn't it? Yeah, so it's fine, isn't it? It's fine. But that's one way that I had to, like, adopt my confidence, where it's like, okay, sis, you can be the shy one, innit? We didn't ever talk about that, but she just developed herself as the shy one just because I kind of had to be the one who said something, innit? And that played itself out into creativity and then meeting people just in life, where it's like, okay, I put a step forward. I might not really want to, but I know that it's just the thing to do, innit? Like, just to make sure something goes, innit? Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm not that confident.
Yeah, see, everyone just, and I think obviously in this field, being your creative, you have to be confident. You have to believe in yourself. You have to assert yourself. You have to go out and get things, because it's not just going to come to you in all aspects. But I think, definitely last year, I was like, there's shades to me. I've got different sides to me. Like, sometimes I am just... And I think, again, it comes down to social media, that people build up this idea of you. And I think I even said it to you not too long ago, that that's not my responsibility to live up to your expectations. That's actually not. And I do feel like, it is not my responsibility to live up to your expectations of me. It is not. Like, what you might believe I'm like, or what I am like, that is you. That's on you. Like, this is actually what I'm like. Whether you choose to take everything on social media as like, this is her... Best believe I'm in performance mode a lot of the time.
That's because it's you on the radio.
It's performance mode. I know I have to deliver something here, but like when I'm just being me, I'm sometimes chill. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm on 100 and I'm turning up, and if we're gonna go out on a night out, we'll have the best time ever. Like that's the different mode. But am I going to be on 100 all the time? Am I going to be confident all the time?
Do you know, I wish people could see you right now. Yeah.
Look, that's
She's basically laying down on the sofa, her mug in hands, a pillow just behind her.
Just bare chill. Like, this is my daily sermon.
Oh, do you know what? That actually reminds me, because I am conscious of the time as well, but that reminds me.
But wait, what is the time? Okay, just over an hour. I think we could push it to like an hour 10.
Yeah,
but
we can do it. That reminds me of what Paris said as well about these spaces. These spaces.
Yeah.
And we're aware of it as well, because we're just giving you our experience and what we think in it. So please, obviously discern it for yourselves, listen to it. But that word discernment as well that Paris said, it's quite a strong word. Sermon, discernment, all of this. But yeah, that is so important when you're listening to anybody.
Yeah.
And it includes the Steve Harveys of the world and whoever. Just discern that, and does that actually feel accurate for you? Plus, can you verify what is being said? Just those two things.
Yeah.
Just do that for yourself.
But I do think we've fallen into a time now where it's like we kind of we are idolizing so many people. We're putting so many people on pedestals. Like,
so we have the word influencers.
It's actually very mad to me. Like, you know a type of person I don't understand. And it's basically my thoughts and feelings towards it is because I don't understand it. Is like super fans. I've never understood people that like are obsessed with a celebrity. Like, don't get me wrong, like back in the day, I'd fancy Bow Wow, Marion, whatever. But like, there's literally people that will want to pay millions of pounds for like a strand of Beyonce's hair, or like anything she says. I genuinely, I don't understand, and I find it quite scary that like you could put someone so much on a pedestal, and that's also plays into like with me and what I want to do, because I want to like blow, and I want my name to be a household name, but I think also a part of me always wanted to be very transparent. Is I would never want anyone to look at me like that, like, oh my God, Amelia, you're so like, I would not feel comfortable with that in the slightest. And I'd be like, yo, like you might be more lit than me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, like
honestly,
please don't put me on a pedestal.
I think it would be sick if we sat down and spoke to a
super fan.
Yeah, of something.
I'll be scared. I'll be scared. No. It blows my mind. Like, you know, people that are just like, oh my God, I'm going to faint. I love you so much. What is happening?
Yeah. It's like, where does that actually come from? Like, it has to come. Well, it makes me just think of Stan in that Eminem song.
Oh, yeah.
And the video and everything. I'm like, there are literally people like that. That's why I wrote the song, because there's people like that who, it's beyond fandom or being a fanatic. Yeah. It's just an obsession of some kind. And yeah, I want to know, man. I really want to know. If you are a super fan, please give us some insight as to why you love whoever you love so much.
I mean, okay, is there anyone that maybe you're not a super fan for? Okay, no one that like. Okay,
literally, there's no human being where I'm like, oh my, like, okay, so these are some people who I really highly regard and revere. Most of the people are dead, but Malcolm X.
Okay,
one. Tupac Shakur is another one. Obviously, my dad's another one.
Oh, I love that.
Those are like 3. They're probably my top 3. Oh my gosh, I really rate and respect what you've gone through in your life, and how I can find some sort of either learning or some entertainment or just some value from what you've done in your life. I'm not walking around every day thinking or trying to create fan pages for any of these people. Like, I just wouldn't even think. If someone even made me a fan page, I'd be like, right, I'm there.
Yeah.
That'd be cool though. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever been that far past the line. I think the most obsessed I've been with anybody was either Eminem when I was young, and I don't know if you saw on my Instagram story.
Oh yeah, you were drawing his.
Yeah, I had to draw the artwork because I didn't have the actual legal copy in it, so I burnt the CD, drew the artwork, and I'd learned all his lyrics. And I remember with 50 Cent and G Unit, they influenced me to start wearing bandanas and stuff as well.
I wish we could see the pictures of this.
Oh man, that was like 12-year-old me, man. I used to wear bandanas and stuff. That was jokes. But yeah, so I think that's the furthest that I've ever gone into my fandom with anybody.
Okay, I think one time I would say, I wasn't really obsessed, but I sent Bow Wow a letter. When I was younger, and it didn't ever get to him. It came straight back to me. It reached the States.
Okay,
it had all the stamps, but then it ended up coming back to me.
Where did you send what to, like the record?
I think I found this address somewhere. I would love to read that letter now, but I think I was like, I love you so much. But I think it also, the culture of like being a young girl, it was like so acceptable to you kind of like wanted to be obsessed with someone, but I quickly grew out of that shit. Like there's honestly no one. I mean, there's definitely people that I would meet and might feel nervous around, or like, oh, okay, it's nice, but do you ever think I'll be trying to like capture someone's hair or
no.
like no
pay for it as well?
All of this, like, just no. Like even like book signings and that's not really I'm not going to line up for time in the rain to have someone sign the book that I've bought of theirs.
Would you have someone sign like an album?
Not really.
Fair.
Not really. But
not an autograph person, basically.
Nah.
Yeah, fair.
I'm not going to see someone like, oh, can I have your autograph? Never asked that ever.
Who would? Yeah, okay, cool. Who would you, if there's one person where you genuinely feel, oh my gosh, it's that person, or you might be starstruck by seeing them, who would that be, do you reckon?
Like starstruck?
Or like just most gassed about seeing? If they walked through this door right now.
I don't know why Anthony Joshua is coming to my head. I was trying to avoid saying that. And that's just honestly down to the fact that I think he's gorgeous. So I think I'll just be like, oh my God, let me sit up straight. Let me whatever.
Yeah, look how you, I can see it right now. She'd be sitting up, the tea would go, she'd start flicking her hair, all of that stuff.
But again, that comes down to because I find him attractive. Do you know what, actually, there's a term. Oh, did I take a picture? Oh no, there's a term. There's actually a word for when you find someone so physically attractive it pisses you off.
What?
Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that? Oh wait.
Not to the point it pisses me off.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's called Harper Fawn or something. Oh wait. I'm gonna find it. I know. I'm tired of time dictating when we're gonna stop talking.
I kind of get what you mean though. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that person is just where it's almost frustrating. Hanker sore. It's almost frustrating how good looking that person is.
Yeah. Have you ever had that?
Let's say my explore page is interesting, but yeah.
No, but like actually pisses you off. Like
no, I'll be like,
why are you so good looking?
I've actually said not why are you so good looking, but like what the fuck, you look so good. Like I've
swear.
outwardly said that before, only to myself innit. But when I've seen somebody, I don't know who these people are by the way, so there's no names, but it's literally just like what the fuck.
Swear.
So I didn't know that had a word, but that's
interesting.
interesting.
I've definitely had that. There was one guy back in the day. Oh my God, I used to think, fuck off. Oh, he's gorgeous. Honestly, wherever he is now, I hope life is treating him well because he's just had such a
well, he deserves
face.
it, yeah.
Oh, his face is just so pretty, man.
Oh man,
I love a pretty face on a guy. Anyway, okay.
Well, that's a good place to be
yeah. We have to do our in facts or opinions.
Yeah.
To round it up, because obviously it's called in facts for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, is it called in facts for a reason?
It is,
no,
man.
but we like to at least spread some knowledge or like differentiate ourselves from other podcasts where it's just opinions or whatever. Just something a bit different. But yeah,
this one was going to be an opinion.
All right, we'll go for it then. We'll just stick there then.
Miss Dynamite, a little deeper. Everyone who's from the UK, I imagine that's everyone who listens to us, but everyone from the UK has to go back and listen to that album. Because that is, in my opinion, probably one of the top 5 UK albums to ever exist.
Oh.
It's as good as, if not, and this is maybe a slightly controversial opinion, better than A Miseducation of Miss Lauren.
Oh.
Yeah. I tried to listen to that album on the way back from Leeds the other day and can't lie, I was struggling to get through it. Like
Lawrence Hills.
Yeah. Like it's got some of the best songs ever on that album, innit?
Yeah.
But it feels like it's very front loaded where within the first 6 tracks, that is Doo Wop, that is To Zion, that is X Factor, that is Lost Ones. It's like all the bam, 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 bam. And then after track, whatever it was, maybe 6, I was a bit like, okay. Bit, a bit underwhelmed.
Oh.
But I know some people get onto me for getting into that deeply. And can't say too much.
And not that album,
No. So I won't say too much.
So
but
Miss Dynamite.
A little deeper.
All right, okay, I'll need to do that.
Please do.
I was going to give you a would you rather because I like my would you rather.
Go on, hit me. I'm ready.
Okay, would you rather create music for the rest of your life, right? But everything that you authentically create, you have to sell on to someone else to actually put it out there. So like you create the music, but you will never get the credit for it. Okay. Someone else will. Or the opposite, where you're putting out music, but it's not your own.
Oh, the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The second one, it's just being a puppet.
Right.
Where's the enjoyment?
But you're not going to get any money for it, no credit for it at all.
Will I be able to work another job to live?
Yeah, you do something else, but like you're not going to be known as a music. You're almost like the ghost writer, whatever. Like, but you're not going to pay for it. Never going to get any credit for it.
I think I prefer that.
I swear.
Yeah, because I would the process of making the stuff. I'll enjoy that, and then number 2. Me knowing that I did it, like my wife won't even know it. I can't say.
Nah.
She'll just not believe me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I'll stick with that one still. Because
okay.
Otherwise, I am just famous for being famous.
So you go to a concert now. Everyone's going off on a song. Let's say some other rapper, like Kremzi. And like yo, this song is dope, and you've written that song, or you can never stay.
Oh no,
and you're watching.
Don't get me wrong. When I'm there and everyone's rapping it, I'll be like, that. I think it's that Idris. Is it Idris or Denzel?
Oh yeah, in the back of the car.
Yeah. That would be how I'm feeling, but that's temporary, and it will go, and then I'll go home and remember and be like, without me, these lot wouldn't even.
So you would never want to be Kremzi on the stage, having that euphoric feeling of people singing the song along with you.
No, I would. However, if the question is, would I rather? Then it has to be that one, because if I'm just performing shit that everybody else has written for me, I'd get bored.
Okay.
I get bored. What if I hate the song?
But it's making you loads. And no one actually knows that you're not writing it.
But what if I hate the song?
Oh, look at Mr. Integrity here.
Come on,
Mr.
man.
Integrity
That's all I'm
himself.
saying.
Okay, that's good to know, because what that says about you, what I take from that is obviously you just create because you actually like creating.
Oh yeah.
It's not too much about the verification of others and the
It's not.
gratification.
I did try and get Insta verified not too long ago. They
Oh, let's
rejected me
not
and
on
that.
Instagram, so your shit out, man. There's bare people out here getting verified that ain't doing shit.
Nah, man, you're not cool. That's
It humbles you, innit? Like,
No,
I'm not there yet.
Fair enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I thought me presenting on the BBC was enough. It still
So you
ain't
come-
enough.
I don't know what they need with it, but not there yet. Innit?
We're not there yet.
Whatever
Don't
it
worry.
is.
This year,
Alright, soon
one
come,
of
soon
us
come.
will get verified.
One of us.
But do we need it though?
No, it would be nice.
Yeah. Okay, well that was my Would You Rather. Okay, I think we'll round it up, innit?
Yeah, let's round it up, man.
Yeah.
It's been a
Anyways,
pleasure.
we got shout out to the Cube as
Shout out
always.
to the Qube. Thank you so much for having us
Yeah,
again.
again. This is like our
Again.
second home. We're here
Literally,
all the
that's
time
why
now.
you're so comfortable here
I'm
now.
so
innit?
comfy, mate. I'm so comfy. But anyway, yeah, hold tight, everyone that's listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Remember, this is just the audios, and we bring you the visuals as well with our, in fact, bring backs when we have guests. And hold tight, our next guest that we're going to have on, but you're going to have to see for that one. All right, she's. And we're done.
And we're out.
Over and out. Out, 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 out.
There's no reverb.
Sweet. Enjoy that. Bon appetit.